What's going on, everybody? This is Saving Money with Amira, and I am here for my two-part series on starting my seeds for the 2026 gardening season. If you want to see what I'm using, what I'm growing, and how I'm getting started, make sure you watch to the end of this video. Now let's get started. Okay, family, I am so excited about how I am getting started this year. I don't feel like I have everything that I quote unquote need, but I have enough. And sometimes all you need is enough to get started. So I am actually starting my seeds. I am growing my seeds indoors under grow lights for the first time. This is year 3 for me. And so there, even in 3 years, there are still so many things that I am learning. And I feel like that's the thing with gardening, like you're always learning things. So there's that. I had a lot of success and a lot of failure starting seeds last year because I just did not want to foot the bill for a whole indoor growing setup. So I tried, if you go back and look at some of my videos, I tried winter sowing. I tried, which did not work out. Those seeds, all of those seeds died. I was so bummed. And so I tried the Ziploc method to start seeds. And that was the most successful. I was able to take the seeds that started from those little Ziploc bags and put them into larger cups. And then, feed them until they got out into the other garden, into my garden. And those seeds did do well. So that was a whole learning curve for me. And so now here we are a whole year later, January of 2026. And I have everything I need, okay? So let's start with this. I used this last year. This is the Cocoa Core Seed Starting Mix from Burpees. I used this last year. It did great. I will say that it is Cocoa Core. It does retain moisture, but it will, okay? It will dry out, okay? It will dry out. So don't think just because you have this, you put the water in and it expands, you put it in your tea cup, and you can just walk away, like set it and forget it kind of thing. No, baby, you have to water these things. And so I am going to use this. It was very successful. I just used 1 brick and I started so many seeds. So I'm going to be using this. So I've been watching a lot of content creators through various social platforms add earthworm casting to their, whatever seed starting medium that they've been using. And so I just so happen to have a tinge left. I have a tinge left, which is actually enough, right? If you think like what's in this bag, it's enough to start seeds with. So this is actually, I got this last year from a local worm casting farmer. And so I'll be adding that to my Cocoa Core to give my seeds a little bit of nutrients. The reason why I'm glad I had this on hand, right? I didn't have to go purchase anymore. But the reason why I was just like, I think, or adding worm casting, I can't give you the science behind it. But I will say that starting seeds in January, like if I know I'm gonna have those seeds indoors for a long time. I'm in growing zone 8B in central Mississippi. So I have a while before. I don't have a whole lot, but I still have a time. So I want to make sure they get all the nutrients they had. And I also had some of this left. I don't know how I have any of this left over from last season. But I have some Dr. Earth's fertilizer still just hanging around from last season. And I actually just bought some more that I'm going to use to prep my beds and my bags. That will be another video. Actually, it will be a video as soon as we get past this whole ice. There's a whole lot of ice discussion and snow discussion going on right now. And I just want that to kind of fade out, and then I can go start preparing my bed since I'm already starting my seeds. So last and not least, another thing that I will be adding to the top of my seed starting pots, whatever you want to call those, little pots, I guess, is this. I will be adding vermiculite. So based on what I have been told and read, not so much adding this to the medium itself, but just I've been told, okay, It says sprinkle a very light layer over the top of your seeds, okay? It does some other things. I did not get perlite. So pause. And I want to say the biggest reason for doing this was to prevent mold. I felt like because that laundry room contains so much moisture, it doesn't get any type of like it doesn't get any type of like air or anything from the rest of the house. So it could get really cold and can get really damp. And so I felt like with that, you're susceptible for mold and things like that. So I thought that I had heard, and so I was like, okay, so let me look into that. So the best way to prevent mold when using vermiculite, all right, fan, which I have acquired. You'll see that later. Bottom water, remove humidity domes as soon as the seed sprouts. Do not keep trays constantly soaked. Vermiculite works best with airflow, not sealed humidity. And it's good for slow germinated seeds, onion, celery, which I'll be planting today. Tiny seeds, thyme, and some other herb seeds that we'll get into, and then cool seeds. And I'm going to be planting a lot of my brassicas, all of my brassicas today. And so key steps: use it lightly, pair it with airflow, and let the surface dry between waterings. I don't plan on watering from the top anyway. All right, so let's get started. So one last thing, I don't know how I forget to talk about this. So I saw a girl use this on TikTok to start her seeds, and I said, oh my God, I feel like every person in America has this in their house. And had I known this, I probably would have used this last year. But y'all, do you have this? Do you know what this is? Okay, this is, you guessed it, a heating pad. A heating pad. Is it just one? Yes, I understand it. It's just one. But right now, like, it's enough to get me started with one tray. I'm literally just doing one tray today. And so if you have a heating pad in your house, she did, for one, I'm going to say two things. One, I do not believe she had this on high. I do not, either low or medium. And two, while she had this covering that it comes with on it, she still had a towel over it so it doesn't get too hot. So if you have it on medium, I'm going to probably think she had like, if she had it on medium, probably had like a towel or something over it. But I just plan to use this on low just to keep the soil warm, especially since it's going to be cold over the weekend. So that was a game changer for me, because if you know how expensive those, heating mats can get, I just saved you some money. Hey, as I'm going to, this is the cooler. I actually used this cooler last year. If you saw any of my videos from last year, this is the same cooler. I'm just using a brick. Like, I do not have to have an entire wheelbarrow. I don't have to have an entire wheelbarrow of soil. I just don't. So this brick is like, I believe I bought this brick last year to start seeds for my fall garden, but I did not. I didn't end up starting a fall garden, which I'm so glad I didn't, because I just wasn't prepared. And there's so many things that I just wasn't thinking about. So this is my brick. I'm going to put it in this container with the water slowly. And then I don't know what happened to my gloves. So I'm going to use this spoon. I don't hardly use this spoon as is to like stir all of my stuff in and like put it in my cups. So I'm not like digging my nails into it and I have to clean my nails, because I do not want to have to do that. So let's get started. Last but definitely not least, I would like to give a shout out to someone who left a comment last week on humidity domes. And I had they suggested using, Oh yeah, it's gonna take a minute. Don't just let that hit you. Saran wrap to cover my tops. And so while I won't cover the tops with rubber bands since I didn't get the rubber bands, I just plan on putting like a thick sheet, like tape to both sides, a thick layers of the saran wrap to create my humidity domes. Problem solved, okay? Problem solved. There are so many cheap ways to solve a lot of those problems. So once these cells, once I plan on using all these cups, no more, no less, okay? I have several things to plant, and they're all gonna have to go in these 5. So 11. Do I have 11? Oh boy. I actually think I have that many seeds. Oh, that thing got big quick. All right, as you can see. My. I'm going to add more water. Yeah, and just break. Oh, yep. Break it off the sides. It's starting to separate. I actually have some water in a tea kettle that I'm going to pour into this. Get this party started. All right, as you can see, this is our cocoa coir with the water added. It has expanded. This is actually half a brick. I did not need, or the whole brick wasn't gonna fit, so this is actually half. And I haven't added anything to it, but I'm glad I put that right there. This is the soil we're gonna be using to start our seeds, okay? If you see that smoke that is moisture, the water was kind of hot. So as I'm adding the worm casting and the fertilizer, I'm going to continue to add more water so that it can get it damp, that really moldy consistency that you want to see. It comes together when you hold it in. I'm getting my hands dirty. I just said forget it, okay? It is what it is. We're playing in dirt. But it's not quite, it's getting there, but it's not quite to that moisture that I want. So let's add our nutrients. All right, so now that I got my seed starting mix ready to go, I have my seed starting checklist. Today, based on my frost day and all those important things to factor in when you're starting seeds, I will be starting my onions, my brassicas, which will not be a lot. I'm not doing a whole lot of the leafy greens. Seeds starting right. A lot of them I'm going to be direct sowing. So I have my brassicas, my onions, my herbs that I growing. A couple of herbs that I have realized that I do not have, as far as seeds is concerned. There's a rosemary out there that's fighting for its life. Okay, I have rosemary. I do not have oregano, and I do not have sage. So those are the plants that I need to find to start between now and the summer heat kicks in, or I'm gonna say by the starts, but that blows my mind. All right, so the the herbs that I'm going to be starting today are going to be my blanching celery, rosemary, in case the one outside decides to kick the bucket, but it's been hanging. I don't know if I have to look that up. I don't know if rosemary is a perennial, but it's hanging on. Okay, thyme and basil. All right, so I'm going to be starting those herbs. Let's just get started. Right, so now we are finished with our herbs. We are doing our onions. I am going to be planting the early Texas grano white onion, right? The Walla Walla onion. I think it's a very popular onion variety. I'm a white onion girl. And just for, shits and giggles, I'm going to do a red onion. Again, I'm not excited about the work that I've just cut out for myself by buying onions and not doing starting onions, because I have to keep in mind when planting these, they're going to have to be up potted at least twice. So out of these containers into another container, and probably in another container before they go out. We'll see. But I feel like I've created a lot of work, especially if all of the seeds germinate. So I'm going to be very careful. But I also am an onion eater, and a lot of people are onion eaters. So I have to suck it up and just do it. But onions is something that we eat in everything that we cook. And it's something that I want to grow an abundance of. So I'm thinking anywhere from 10, if I can get 10 per variety, that is more than enough onions to keep us going. I have here to plant 10 to 15 seeds per variety, which would give me, my family of 4 a good start into the next season, because these can, if these do well, if this method does well, I will be running it back in the fall. So these are going to be the red onions, the red grano onion, and I'm going to put, these are actually huge seeds. I don't know what it is I don't know what it is about this variety, why the seeds are so big for onion seeds. I don't know. If you've ever grown red onions from seed, definitely put down in the comment section. Okay, we are back. So now let's start our brassica seeds, y'all. I took it real light. I don't want to grow a cabbage. I don't want to grow a cauliflower. I don't want to grow anything else in the brassica family except I don't want to grow mustard green. I don't want to grow turnip greens. I want to grow collard greens, because that is what me and all of my family, we all eat collards. We'll do a mustard here and there, but for the green eaters, we want collards. So I know that we will eat broccoli. I have not successfully grown broccoli. This is another list of my brassicas. I haven't grown brassicas, period. So I'm going to grow these, and if you've ever seen me talk about trying to grow broccoli, it's because I want to cook the leaves. I heard they taste just like collards, so I want that. So let's start our brassicas. I am only doing 3. I do not want to overwhelm myself, because that's something that I did last year. Even with the plants that I had, even though some of them were not producing really well, I still got a lot of food that I was like, oh my God, I was giving it away. I don't know what to do with it. All these tomatoes, all these cucumbers. I successfully grew several different varieties of cucumbers, and I'm excited about the cucumbers this year because I have lemon cucumber seeds, and I also grew something last year. It looked like a mini watermelon. It was about this size. It looked like a small watermelon, so I thought it was sweet. But when I bit into it, it really put me in the mind of a cucumber. I don't know if it was supposed to be sweet or not. And I could not tell you. It wasn't labeled. I don't know what it was. Let me read this package because I haven't been reading it. I've got the package right in front of me. A 1/4 inch deep. Okay. So these need to be sewn. I only need about 4. When I think about where it's gonna go in the garden, I really just need at least 4 of my brassica plants. If I can get 4, that's a lot of food. If I can get 4 of all 3, then that's more than enough for me and the people that I care about. More than enough. And because these do, you can do the cut and come back again, right? I don't have to cut one time like you do with the cauliflower or with the cabbage. Like I can continue. That was another thing that drew me. I'm gonna do 2 seeds per hole because these seeds are at this point. These broccoli seeds. Girl, what you doing? Are 2 years. Yes, I think these particular broccoli seeds are 2 years old. So I might not get the germination that I really think I'm gonna get with these. I'm gonna start 2 more just in case. All right, I'm gonna cover these holes up a 1/4 of an inch deep. I'm gonna tap, make sure they get in contact. I don't need to put too much more on top since they are buried. I'm gonna put my vermiculite on it and we're gonna call it a day. Alright, let's start my flowers. I'm only starting 2 based on my seed. I do have more flowers. I have sunflowers. I have zinnias. I do not have one. I do wish I had. I wish I had nasturtium seeds, and it's still not too. It's not too late to get my nasturtium seeds. That's another flower that I want to grow. But today I'm going to start my marigold seeds, which I want to start really heavy on these because with all the tomato varieties that I want to grow this year, I want to make sure I have enough marigolds to plant within the garden. So what I'm going to do, baby, I'm going to sprinkle me. And marigold seeds are so funny to me. Very funny. And not funny in a way of like, how do you get that flat? Whoa. I'm going to go light. I'm trying to go as light as I possibly can on these. But I need a lot. I need a lot of marigolds. I'm probably going to end up separating. Once these sprout, I'm probably going to end up separating so many of these so they can get really good starts. The marigolds that I grew from seed last year actually did really, really well. They lasted. They definitely, the marigolds that I grew from seed definitely, that's a little too much, definitely outgrew the starts. I'm out of labels, y'all. Y'all don't see me stick them over there with no labels. And last but not least, guys, in my seed starting, part one of my seed starting, I will be starting the African daisy. Okay, I'm trying to bring all of the pollinators into my garden. What? Y'all look at these seeds. Flower seeds are so interesting to me. Look how these seeds are shaped. What? That is insane. What? Oh my God. Okay. Hey, if I get all 15 of these that germinate, it's on and popping. Those are some interesting looking seeds. Wow, African daisy. I feel like this is too much. Just a light layer. Light layer. I'm not even gonna press down. If you see, I'm not pressing down on this. I just want to get the soil. I'm pressing down, but light. Very, very lightly. This spoon is actually perfect. This might be my garden spoon from now on. All right, family. This is my seed. I just watered these in. And this is my first round of seeds. Everything did not get labeled, but I have them. I know what are in those, okay? Until I get some more labels. But this is my labels, and so I'm about to saran wrap, and then I'll show you this setup in the growing section. I want y'all to know that saran wrap was hell, okay? That was hell working with. And so this is my makeshift humidity dome. It looks bad, but hopefully I'm able to trap all of the moisture in. This is my fan. And what I'm just gonna do, I have not cut my lights on, that's why it looks really dark. But what I'm just gonna do is, I'm gonna turn on my heating pad. This is the heating pad I have sitting under. This blanket, this towel. I'm about to put the top on. I'm gonna put the top on here, just like this. I'm gonna turn that heating pad and wait for the germination to happen. All right? This is my setup. And as they germinate, right, because herbs, onions, brassicas, they do not all germinate in the same time frame. So as they germinate, I'll move them to the bottom rack, and they'll get like fertilized water. Also, yes, I did put fertilizer into the seed starting mix, but I have seen people put fish emulsion water. I haven't seen any but like the rice water that I have and the banana water that I have that's been sitting around for months. I haven't seen anyone actually water their seeds with those types of things. So what type of fertilizer do you guys suggest? I have seen people use the fish emulsion, but I have not so much seen rice water or any of the banana water as far as like what they're fertilizing their seeds with. So any suggestion on fertilizer for seed starting, liquid fertilizers that I could use, please feel free to drop those down in the comment section below. And let's get so if you made it to the end of this video, welcome to my seed starting journey for the 2026 gardening season. I am so grateful and glad and just grateful to get a head start. I am way above schedule. All right, spring, summer won't catch me lacking this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in following my journey and seeing things that I plant for the low and how I incorporate sustainable living into my everyday life, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I am looking forward to connecting with all of you all. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a good one. Bye.